At first glance, these appear to be normal, clean, fully functioning refrigerated cases. But what unknown and unseen terrors lurk below the surface? Our refrigerated cases work by flowing either cold, low-pressure liquid refrigerant or cold liquid glycol through copper tubes in the bottom of the case. These tubes are connected to metal fins, which increase their surface area and help them to pull heat from the case as air flows through the fins. These tubes and fins are known as an evaporator coil. Fans in the case draw air across this evaporator, flowing cold air throughout the case and absorbing heat from the product. This heat is then removed from the case by the refrigerant flowing through the coil. Humidity from the air collects on the cold coil in the form of water, which drips off the coil and runs out of the bottom of the case drain. All of this works well when the drain is clear and the fans and evaporator coil remain clean. This gives proper airflow, allowing the easy transfer of heat from the air in the case to the refrigerant in the coil. But if the evaporator fins become clogged with dirt, and the case drain gets plugged with tags and food residue, the case may stop cooling, water may start running out of the case onto the floor, and monsters may emerge from the deep. This is why case cleaning is so important. We rely on our store associates to keep the bottom of our cases clean and clear of debris so the cases run efficiently. When our cases aren't properly cleaned, we waste millions of dollars each year on completely preventable service calls to our refrigeration vendors. So now that you know how important it is to keep our cases clean, let's show you exactly how to do it. First, remove the product from the bottom shelves of your case and store it in the cooler or freezer as appropriate. Then, carefully remove the bottom racks and metal decking from the case. Note that the fans are actively running beneath the metal shelving, so use caution when removing the shelves and be careful not to hit the fans. Next, you need to stop the case fans. Depending on the type of case, simply unplug the fans. Or, you may need to unplug the case from the wall or turn off the breaker feeding the case so the fans stop running. Next, it's best to stop the refrigerant from flowing through the coil. In a case with traditional refrigerant, simply turn the refrigerant valve clockwise until it's closed. In cases using glycol, there is a glycol supply and a glycol return. Turn off the glycol supply only using the valve handle. Do not touch the glycol return valve. Just keep the glycol return open so pressure does not build in the glycol line. Also, do not touch the red glycol valve since it is calibrated for proper glycol flow and should remain in its set position. Once you have the fans off and the refrigerant valved off, you're ready to clean. It's important to keep the case drain from getting plugged. If you've been cleaning your cases regularly, this should be as simple as first removing loose tags and debris, then wiping and washing any remaining dirt down the drain. An adjacent hose bib can be very handy for getting water to the case. Avoid getting water directly on the fans, electrical connections, and fan motors, as this can cause damage. Small self-contained cases should just be wiped down and should not be hosed down since they are not tied into a floor drain. If case cleaning has not been done for a while, you may have a significant buildup of tags and debris, which leads to clogged drains and overflowing water, expensive service calls, and a science project lurking in the depths. The best way to get your case back to normal at this point is to manually remove the debris. It may be easiest to use a shop vacuum without the filter to remove the majority of the debris so it doesn't clog the drain. If you have standing water in your case, you may need to clear the drain by removing debris manually or by vacuuming out the drain. Then continue to wash it down as normal. You should also clean beneath the fans. The fans lift and you can wash the coil fins and the bottom of the case beneath the fans. Depending on the type of case, this may be best accomplished by two people, one to lift the fans and one to wash beneath. On some cases, such as this self-contained produce case, the coil can be pulled forward, which will allow it to lift fully. You can also carefully prop up the fan assembly for easier access. Some larger cases have small screws in the top two corners of the fan assembly that you may remove to lift the coil even higher. Your case drain should have a small screen in it to capture large debris before it clogs the drain. Ensure you remove this screen and clean it fully before replacing it. Once you have cleaned the case and ensured there is no debris left in the drain, lower the fans and put them back in their original position and replace any screws you may have removed. Ensure coils in self-contained cases are lying flat and pushed back fully to their original position. Now, it's time to get the case back in service. Fully turn the refrigerant valve back open and plug the case fans back in or restore power to the entire case as needed. It is important that you get both the refrigerant flowing in the case and the air properly circulating to restore case temperatures to normal. So always remember these two important items: refrigerant and airflow. At this point, you can carefully replace the metal decking and shelves, again being careful not to hit the moving fan blades. Ensure you have cool air flowing properly through the case, and ensure the floor surrounding the case is completely dry to provide a safe environment for our customers. Now you can replace the product you removed from the case. If you noticed any issues while cleaning the case, such as problems with the drain, bent, inoperable, or noisy fans, or significant ice buildup on the evaporator coil, please ensure you follow up with a service call. The more you keep up with your case cleaning, the simpler it will be, the better your cases will run, and the more money you will save Publix in unnecessary service calls. And the easier you will sleep, knowing you have defeated the monsters lurking in the depths.